Genesis 58:16.
Okay, so you've never seen Jordan Peterson cry before.
No.
It's his latest gimmick. Well, I want to ask you. First of all, this is hilarious, and I want to ask you if you think he's faking it or not. I believe he's faking it, but a lot of people have seen this clip already. We can include the clip in the whatever, but and there's a visual element to this that's gonna make you fucking piss your pants. It's so fucking funny, but that's gonna be that'll be the thumbnail. But everyone's seen that because it became a meme. It was so ridiculous. It's the one where he goes like this. This is so delicious.
I don't even know if I've seen that meme.
This is good. So
And
you're
I'm
absolutely
with the times.
unfamiliar. Yes, you are fucking totally up to date on the latest
I mean, I'm
in
not
Jordan
one of
Peterson news.
Not one of these Reddit nerds, but I've seen my fair share of memes. Oh, you want to just get it started from here, or do you?
Yeah,
want me
go ahead and play it.
I've never seen a credible argument made to show that it's anything other than that. You know, you can say, well,
Is that where the
rights
speaker
are
is?
attributed to you by the state.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, that's a weak argument because the state's dependent on your actions. So, you know,
And he's talking about the importance of being ethical.
Well, he's talking about. He's about to talk about climate change. The guy asks him, "What advice would you give for freshmen?" And he gives the dumbest fucking answer in the
College
history.
or high
College,
school?
college. They don't let him near high school kids.
He's too inspirational.
Here,
All right.
I'm going to play the sound drop while you're letting that play because I think you're a little ahead.
Let's talk about some of the things that might make you feel happy. Now, that is not the kind of thing that makes you feel happy. That's the kind of thing that makes you feel mad. That's the kind of thing that makes you feel mad.
Okay.
to believe that, you have to believe that the state is the entity and that individuals are just subordinate in some fundamental sense to the state. It's like, no.
It's like,
the
no.
state is dependent on the individual to exactly the same degree.
He always talks
So-
like a high school. He always talks like a cheerleader,
We're the active
like a
agent of
sorority
the
girl.
state.
He's like,
In
and then
some
she's
sense,
like,
we're the seeing eye of the state,
and I was like,
the speaking mouth
and
of the
she's like-
state, because the state's dead without the individuals that compose it.
here it is.
Incoming freshmen next year, University of Toronto, Stanford University, 18-year-old kids coming into this. We've been through 3 years of COVID. I won't rehearse it all. One sentence. What would you
That's gonna be
say
a
to
long
them as they
sentence,
begin
isn't it?
university
It's gonna be a
at the
real
age of
one,
18 or
it's
19?
going to involve crying.
Probably have a
What's
run on
the
or two.
restorative
And a lot of
redemptive
emoting.
sentence? What should they do?
Don't be thinking your ambition is corrupt. You know, because that's part of the message now. Human beings, we're a cancer on the planet. We're headed for an environmental apocalypse. The entire historical structure is nothing but atrocity, et cetera, et cetera. Anyone with any ethical aim whatsoever is just going to pull back. You don't want to manifest any ambition, support the patriarchal structure, exploit the environment. You got to crush yourself down. You shouldn't even have any children.
Wait a second. What if your ambition is to crush the patriarchal structure? You saying those kids should not have any ambition? Remember the video we watched where the kids like he's talking about how kids are demoralized by knowing that climate change is real. and he's like, so I guess he has a thing, lesson number 8, never lie.
Was he really riled up about Greta?
Oh, he hates Greta.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's his mortal enemy.
I'm sure he was real. He got real
But remember,
spicy
he
about
yelled
that.
at that kid when we watched that video, because she called her. He said that like her attitude, he was kind of dismissive of his advice, like clean your room and stuff. And he's like, I would rephrase that question if I were you, and all that shit.
I don't remember that.
Oh,
Honestly.
okay. Well, he spends a lot of time trying to demoralize young people.
That sounds
is
like
my
a
point.
Crowder thing too. He does that a lot. From the few things I've seen.
But he's always putting down anybody who, Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg is like his mortal nemesis. Like, she stands for everything he hates.
No. There's no excuse for that. There's zero excuse for that. I saw a professor at an event, something like this. He came out and trumpeted this bloody, environmentally friendly house he built, and
Oh, it gets funnier.
fair enough, man. It was a pretty interesting house, but Not everybody had the $4 million that it took him to build it. And I'm not criticizing his money even. It's
I
like,
should think not. Like, your whole fucking shebang is like fucking defending capitalism.
he's had some money. Good for him. He built a house. Okay. But then to trumpet that as a moral virtue, well, you're pushing it there. And then he came out to all the kids and he said, you know, my wife and I decided that we were only going to have one child. And I think that's one of the most ethical things we could have possibly done. And I would strongly encourage you to do the same. I thought, you son of a bitch. You get up in front of these young people. Look,
You son of- He's
Who
so
is he talking
dramatic.
about now?
Some guy that I'm guessing he's made up.
No, have they established this guy?
No, I looked for it. I couldn't find it anywhere. He
He
claims that he owned the guy on stage and the guy stormed off stage, but that's never happened in Jordan Peterson's life.
He
He got
barely-
humiliated. Dude, he fucking posted a picture of, there's like a BBW on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and she's kind of hot. She's hot.
I
Like,
think I've seen that.
yeah, I've hooked up with a chick that kind of was in that ballpark.
But
And
no, dude.
and he got so fucking humiliated. He like declared he was going to quit Twitter because he's like, no, your authoritarianism can't convince me that she's beautiful. No amount of virtuous authoritarianism.
Did he even segue into that, or did he just start talking about this dude out of nowhere?
Yeah, well, he's
I
trying to
don't
make the
remember
point.
him opening it.
He's trying to
though.
make the point that if you talk about climate change, it's going to hurt people's feelings. So we should pretend that it doesn't happen. That sounds like what he's trying to say.
Okay, that's fun.
But, you know.
That was like a bit in Gringo Poppy. It just cut to something new. Dude, I watched that shit.
Oh, really? Did you watch the Ricky Gervais?
No.
Ricky Gervais is like the second worst fucking special.
Dude, did you watch Gringo Poppy?
Yeah. I watched and Ricky Gervais.
Because I watched Beige Frequency, you know that
Yeah,
channel?
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
finally, I'm guessing it's a guy based on who's reading it. I figure it's that guy. He released finally a review of it.
Yeah.
And I watched it at my brother's house. And I explained, it's like, this is pretty much what I would like describe as an angry kid that's on the spectrum and really takes comedy seriously. And he just shits on bad comics. And so we watched it.
But he's good. He's accurate.
Oh, yeah. We watched it, and like halfway through it, my brother was just like, now I kind of just want to watch it to see if it's really this bad. And I was like, it's only 25 minutes.
Yeah. No, he did it. Dude, Beige Frequency did a Doug Stanhope video where he's like, he wanted to give an example of comedy he does like because he didn't want people to think he just hates comedy.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of good comedy criticism because everybody who criticizes comedy, like, they all like Bo Burnham. Like, there's no fucking real comedy criticism out there, you know?
Yeah.
So
They all like
I
Bo
like that
Burnham.
guy should put out more content. He liked Shane Gillis' special too.
How could you? Well, that's funny. Afterwards, I was like, now do you want to watch a really good special? And we watched Shane Gillis' special.
Yeah.
But earlier that day, Kate was like, I saw this clip or reel or whatever it's called on Facebook, and he was like, share it's a funny bit from a comedian. He just was saying it, and I was like, it sounds like Shane. And I was like, do you have it? And it was from his Live in Austin special. So I was like, I know I'll like it. And dude, he was laughing so hard at some points it felt like it was fake. But Caleb's done that.
Yeah, the Norm thing was okay, but a lot to I had seen at South Point.
Oh, where he did a lot of that at South Point.
Yeah, he did a different
I haven't
version of
gotten a
that at
chance
South
to
Point.
watch that. I watched the
But
first,
he did the comedians. He didn't deliver the joke the way it was delivered. I heard it in my head, but a long time. I think Cumtown referenced this joke about comedians being the new philosophers, and you know who finds that really. You know who I feel bad for?
Philosophers.
Philosophers.
It's very true. It's very true. It's
That's
just
in the
like,
fucking
what?
special.
This is a philosopher.
And he did that last time where he just threw in an old joke that he told on television and stuff. Anyways, we should finish watching this because he keeps making himself mad. Jordan Peterson keeps making himself mad with like shit that he makes up in his fucking head, including this debate with this imaginary professor that I don't think actually happened.
He's a rich professor. $4 million house.
$4 million house? That's a lot of money for a fucking professor.
Especially because he built that shit himself. Well, not himself,
shit.
but you know what I mean. Funded. I feel like that's got to be pricier than just buying a house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not shitting on your money. Well, dude, you just got done saying you don't want to shit on people's ambitions, so. But you're gonna contradict everything you just said right now.
I was just like, I just want to see his room. That's what I'm worried about.
I want to see his wife.
Gold digging son of a bitch.
Speaking of which,
Dude,
Amber Heard better
he
make femdom
turned
porn.
hard, dude. That
Yeah, you
son
of a bitch. She's like thinking, like, you know how you get angry at somebody? I don't know if this happens to you, but I get angry at fucking shit that happened to me 5 years ago. I'm like, that son of a bitch.
He had a shower argument moment.
Yeah.
That whenever you just get too caught up in it.
But he does that in front of people. That's what makes him hilarious.
He argues like nobody's watching.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids were children of first-generation immigrants from China. And he showed all these images, of these terrible factories in China.
Yeah, where
these
children
endless
work.
rows of sterile mechanism that were
Yeah, where children
subordinating
work.
all the Chinese people to this
Yeah.
terrible, capitalist machine.
Child labor.
And I thought, you don't understand. Half the audience is looking at those factories and thinking, that's a hell of a lot better than struggling through the mud under Mao, buddy. And so...
They don't remember that, buddy. That was in the 1940s. It was in the 1950s.
I feel like if you went around and asked
Buddy.
100 random people who Mao is, they would say he was a philosopher or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Or like some sort of like Hindu figure or some shit like that.
I'd be like, that's the sound my cat makes. She's a communist.
She's a commie slut. Yeah, I have a slutty cat.
I have a slutty commie cat.
She likes Rage Against the Machine. All right.
I don't know where he thought he was, but to come out in front of all those kids and basically tell them that the whole human enterprise is so goddamn corrupt that the best thing they could possibly do is limit their multiplication, and to think of himself as a scholar and an educator was just... I did say something, by the way. It was rather uncomfortable, and he stomped off the stage.
That didn't happen.
That's no message for young people.
There's no way that happened.
There's no excuse for that. And you think, well, we're going to destroy the planet. We have to do this. We have to demoralize the youth to be ethical.
Here it
It's
comes.
like, yeah, really, that's your theory? You're going to demoralize young people to be ethical?
No one has ever said that. I've never heard any fucking public intellectual go, you know what the cure to this is we need to demoralize the youth. I remember when Bernie Sanders, he was trying to gather the youth vote. He goes, "You all suck."
Is he criticizing people that demoralize the youth?
He goes, "That's your solution is to demoralize the youth."
Did we just not go over how much he hated Greta Thunberg?
That's my point.
Or Thunberg. I don't want to mispronounce her
T-Bird.
name.
I call it T-Bird.
T-Bird. I like that. When she inevitably pulls a Bad Baby and just starts a rap career leading up to her OnlyFans.
Yeah, she's like, fuck this. This is never going to work.
That's going to be a funny story here in like 3 years.
Yeah, she's like...
Greta Thunberg starts her OnlyFans.
She's like with Bad Baby and Cardi B. She's doing Insta with Bad Baby.
Everyone's going to be like, it's going to be like she made $80,000, makes $80,000 a month, and they're like, oh, I bet she's not donating any of that to the environment.
Yeah, she's like swagged out like that Hassan guy. She's like, tax the rich. She's like, eat
That's
the rich.
what we're going to do. We're going to hate on...
in front of a mansion in Sweden.
We're going to call young people that are trying to make statements stupid? No. Oh, fuck. That just means it's not because she was young. It's because she's a girl.
Oh, that's probably most of it.
That's your theory. It's like you should go home and think about that for like a year. And I'm passionate about this.
I like how he was, whenever he goes, you need to go home and think. He says that a lot, and then he'll be like, but there'll be different amounts of time. So he'll be like, you need to sit on that and think about that for 3 months.
He actually he does it just
he does different units of time.
I love it. He gave him
I don't know how he calculates that.
He gave him the same amount of time that he should think about it as it took for Papa John's to forget the N-word. Do you remember when that whole thing happened? He was like, I'm going to work hard and get that word out of my head. And I think like
by screaming it.
I think he like started doing tweets and shit like about a year or so later.
And it's just N-words.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it out of my
Like the
head.
Bert Simpson chalkboard meme. Yeah, it's just the N-word over and over again with his face cropped on it. God, he's a greasy looking guy.
Oh, he is. There's a lot of
oddly
pomade.
has not. He might like have sold his soul to the devil or something because I feel like he hasn't.
That definitely happened.
feel like he hasn't aged since I worked there. And that was 11 years ago.
Oh, so you mean Papa John's?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
yeah.
you meant Jordan Peterson because he's got greasy hair too.
He does have greasy
He's a
hair.
greasy-haired son of a bitch.
No, he's aged in the videos that we've seen. I don't remember his hair being this gray.
And by the way, if you're like one of these like liberals or lefties, and he insults the fucking chick, the hot BBW on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and then I go, "Oh yeah, Jordan Peterson, how do you explain this?" And I show a picture of his wife. Don't give me shit for it.
Is his wife thong?
She looks like she was made out of an old tree.
Did he reply, "Yeah, I don't think she should be a Sports Illustrated model"?
She looks like she lures children into a house made of candy.
Made of candy. The witch from Hansel and Gretel.
She looks like somebody landed a house on her.
Also, old Hansel and Gretel was a young adult novel when he was growing up. It was the Harry Potter of his generation. Did you ever see the movie? I think it was called The Witch. It was kind of like an
No, I haven't.
interpretation.
It might be on Netflix.
It might be. It was good. It was like real eerie and shit like that. But it's funny because there's, I guess you could call it a character. It's like the main family's pet goat.
Is it a horror movie?
Yeah.
Okay, I know what it
It's
is.
his pet goat, and it's a black goat, and its name is Black Phillip. That's what they called the goat.
Dude,
It's just like Black Phillip. Come here.
that was
so
Patrice's
funny.
podcast.
What's called Black Phillip?
Black Phillip, yeah. Because
Interesting.
he was the Black Dr. Phil.
Oh.
But I did watch Miranda Sings. And
What's that?
She has a TV show with fucking Angela from The Office.
Really?
Yeah, it got canceled after 2 seasons, but it was like Napoleon Dynamite. It was like fucking. It was actually pretty good.
Who is the first person you said?
Angela from
No, and then but the first name Maria Sings.
Miranda Sings. The fuck, like questions with the lipstick. You didn't ask me any questions.
From what though?
The
What-
chick from YouTube that mispronounces
that.
words.
Okay, now I know what you mean.
The
That
cute
girl.
chick from YouTube.
Okay, I just was thinking it was an act. The girl on Comedians in Cars that I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
why
yeah.
the fuck is this happening?
Yeah, because
No, I gotcha.
Because she has a Netflix show.
I
She
know,
did.
like, why didn't he just have fucking Roseanne? Like, he had Kramer on.
That's a good idea, dude.
He had Kramer on.
That's a great fucking idea.
I would imagine, not to sound mean, but I would imagine a small percentage of why they chose her was because she's a woman.
Yeah,
They
and she has a
needed-
Netflix show.
And she has, yeah, and she's popular.
And his show's on Netflix.
All right.
All right, here we go. This is it. This is it. You're gonna see it.
This is
He's
when-
never seen Jordan Peterson cry.
You have no idea how many people that's killing. You have no idea. I see people everywhere, all over the world. They're so demoralized,
Okay.
especially young people.
I saw a few
young
people,
with a
like,
conscience.
smiling.
They've been told
Like, here he
since they
goes
were
again.
little that there's nothing to them but corruption and power. It's like, how the hell do you expect them to react? You know, well, I shouldn't do anything then, you know.
Dr. Jordan Peterson.
You think that's real? First of all,
Hold on. No, hold on.
you have
Hold
no
on,
idea
Hold
how-
on, hold on.
you have no idea how many people that's killing. We do know how many people climate change is gonna kill. It'll be like 80% in the next 100 years.
No, this is totally fake.
You think he's faking it?
Yeah.
I think he learned how to do
His
it.
eyes aren't even well. No, his eyes didn't even well up
He
with
does
tears.
it constantly, and you know he eats up.
Somehow it did seem to turn red, but like there wasn't even.
If
a
you read the
moisture.
comments,
And really, if you like through research, a main way to get yourself to cry is just hold your eyes open for a really, really long time.
I did a video by myself where he was talking about Jesus and he started crying, and I just read the comments just to see how effective it is. It's because the New York Times doesn't take him seriously anymore. No, everybody laughs at him, but the only people that will buy his horse shit are the type of people that would fall for that. He's so passionate. He's so emotional.
Have you
he
ever
cares.
seen?
He's-
Have you ever seen actual moisture leave his face?
Probably. I mean, he cried a little bit before before his big comeback, before he got off the benzos. But now it's like every other clip that comes out, every fucking one, like clockwork, like once a month. He's got a new crying video, and then people everybody gathers around to watch it. trying to figure out the mystery of Jordan Peterson's weeping. I think it's fucking fake. Mike Tyson does that. But Mike Tyson had massive emotional trauma throughout his entire fucking life, but mostly in his childhood.
And
he's been forced to bottle that up.
And been punched in the head
Countless
thousands of times.
Now you see him talking about Sugar Ray Leonard, and he'd be like, "The first time I thought Eddie Murphy in a movie."
Have you ever seen that clip where he like threatens to kill that woman and like eat her babies and
Oh
eat
yeah,
your babies, bitch.
But that was yeah. I'll
Right.
eat your babies, bitch. That's fucking Jordan Peterson doing Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson doing Jordan Peterson. You don't know how many people that's killing. What it demoralized the youth.
But see, it's one good thing, and old JP I don't think does it, but old Mikey T is big on it. Is smoking that ganja.
I think.
Huge
Yeah.
proponent of the treefer.
Yeah,
And
that's good. I think good for your brain, I guess.
I think.
Not for mine.
I think Jordan should. I'd say it's good to
Jordan
help him-
Peterson would take
help
one
keep
fucking
him-
whiff, he'd have a fucking panic attack.
It's good for helping emotional swings.